electric vehicles, EVs, electrification of the automobile and the truck and the long hauler. I mean, every day we're hearing some bit of news or the other. A new platform has been developed, new products are being launched, governments around the world are setting the regulations and the support structures to make the shift from internal combustion engines, diesels and gasoline engines, to electrified vehicles, full battery electric vehicles being the holy grail of it all. Lots of news here. Here's the latest. And here's a bit of news that really caught my eye. It's Ford's Mustang Mach-E GT, the Performance Edition. It's unbelievable what Ford has come up with here, given that it's going to be a mainstream automobile, sort of, from a mainstream manufacturer struggling to come back from basically a slumber of about a decade. Now, when the battery-powered fastest of all Mustangs ever hits showrooms, you're looking at about $100,000. Still, the best-selling vehicle in Ford's global portfolio of vehicles isn't a car at all. It's the F-Series pickup, the F-150. Well, and we're going to see the F-150 Lightning, more than 560 horsepower of it, as a battery electric pickup, and that's coming too, and that has created an enormous buzz for Ford Motor. All sorts of other automakers are deeply into this game already. For example, Audi, Volkswagen's a mass-market luxury brand, has announced that by 2026, all new models launched will be battery electrics. By 2033, Audi says that it will no longer launch new diesel and gasoline vehicles. So what are they all going to look like, all these new battery cars? Have a look here. This is the Audi Q4 Sportback 50 e-tron Quattro. Terrific power, zero CO2 emissions. Here is the Audi RS e-tron GT. And this, the Audi Q4 e-tron. This one is being built right now at Volkswagen's Saxony plant. Essentially, all the big car companies in the world are racing to get to a carbon neutral future. All their products, everything in the portfolio, carbon neutral. Another brand that's looking super interesting is Volvo. The Swedish brand of the Chinese automaker Geely has announced that by 2030 it's going all electric. So what will the fully electric Volvos look like? This concept does not have a gas engine, and it's not designed ever to have one on board in any way, shape, or form. The gas engine has been completely replaced from a design and a technology perspective by something very simple: an electric motor and a battery pack. And that battery pack is laid flat under the floor of the car to lower the center of gravity. This Volvo concept has a longer wheelbase than you'd expect in a vehicle of this type. Huge wheels, shorter overhangs, much more interior space than you will find in a comparably sized gasoline power vehicle. Now compare the concept Recharge with Volvo's newly launched XC40 Recharge. Now the underpinnings here form the foundation for the next generation XC90, due in 2023. But the platform here, brilliant as it is, has compromises because it also forms the foundation for Volvo hybrid vehicles. Governments are central to this whole electrification push. Car makers don't do anything without approval from government first and some idea of where the marketplace is going to go based on regulatory approval and some subsidies. So what does that mean here in Canada, for example? Well, the Liberal government here is running its next election platform on a promise to phase out all gasoline and diesel passenger cars and light trucks by 2035. The Biden administration in the United States wants to really move towards an electric vehicle future as it has rejoined the Paris Accord. EVs are super expensive now. Even something as modest as a Kia Niro EV is going to run you before subsidies in the $40,000 and $50,000 range. But costs will shrink if volumes rise dramatically. And make no mistake, if you like performance and saving money on energy fill-ups, you'll love this new crop of EVs. the racy Mustang Mach-E GT Performance Edition, an absolute hoot to drive. And all those new Audi EVs, the Volvos, and so many others will almost certainly entertain us. I mean, when General Motors says it's targeting annual global EV sales of 1 million units by 2025, when an old dinosaur like GM gets on board with this shift, then we can trust things are going to happen for real. Essentially, all the big car companies in the world are racing to get to a carbon neutral future. All their products, everything in the portfolio, carbon neutral. So what are the barriers? Well, the biggest one is green power. There's just not enough of it in the world. And when I talk about green, I'm talking about solar, wind, geothermal, hydroelectric. Not enough of it. It also means we have to phase out coal-fired and gas plants and oil-fired plants and all these plants that pump so much carbon into the atmosphere. Yes, nuclear has a place in this, but we need to be careful here because we do not want any more Chernobyls or Fukushimas. And then there's the question around hydrogen. There's a role for hydrogen to play in the green future, but it still remains undefined. I really like talking about future products though, and two coming very soon have caught my eye. First, Mercedes' flagship EQS for its dedicated EV brand. It's a flagship luxury saloon with a 338 horsepower electric motor and a promised range of 770 kilometers. Stunning. And then this, BMW's coming flagship electric SUV, the iX. What you're looking at here is production ready. Some markets will see this vehicle in this November. The iX is stuffed, literally stuffed, with all the best BMW can muster, technology-wise. Automated driving, connected services, the works. The iX explains why BMW has finally put the i3 out of our misery. The i3 was a painful lesson, not just for BMW, but for all automakers. And the lesson is the next crop of EVs, if they're going to grab the attention of consumers, must be exciting.